And we're live to LinkedIn and to YouTube. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I thought I'd pop in before a client meeting and answer some of your job search questions. And I realized I better turn down the volume on my phone, or I'm getting some rather loud notifications. So yeah, if you have any pressing job search questions, post them in the comments and we can get started. And okay, so I'm coming up. I always open this up on my phone just to confirm not having any technical difficulties with something being posted. And all right, how's everyone's August going in terms of your job search, interviews, finding job leads? I'll give this a few minutes, but I also thought I'd play around more with ChatGPT. So while we're waiting, we can look at some of Chat's questions. Unless somebody has something. And okay. Oh, my phone's acting up. So much for keeping track of comments that way. All right. ChatGPT questions. What strategies can I use to improve my resume and make it stand out to employers? As I've said before, hello, Rakesh. Do you have a question? Or I can move on with the chat. Okay, I must have mispronounced that. Your name's there. And you're from Kenya. Okay. Do you have a question? Okay. Okay, while he's typing, I can continue answering strategies to improve the resume. I wrote an article called Does Your Resume Show Them the Money? It is on my LinkedIn profile. If you click under my articles, and I go through comprehensive list of how to annotate ways that you can quantify where you've had an impact. So the short answer to that is show them the money, show them where you had impact. You'll ask later. Okay. All right. Thanks for stopping by. All right. I'll write a bit more then. Basically, the way you improve your resume is not to do a laundry list of job duties, and also make sure you're not doing for your resume or your LinkedIn profile. I still see a lot of candidates fall into the trap in elaborating way too much what their employer does. Sometimes if it's an obscure company or a new technology, I mean, it's fine to put a phrase or one sentence explaining what the company does, but any longer than one sentence, you're using up valuable estate, and that is detracting from your impact. So basically, strategies to improve your resume is you outline how you will make employers' job easier and what problems you solve, and connect the dots as to how they line up with the ones that your potential employer is having. Okay. And okay, so that wasn't a question. Okay. Another question I got. We're waiting for anyone else to weigh in. Oh, hello, Deborah. I'm frustrated because I don't get feedback from interviewers. Thoughts? My thoughts are, well, I for social media, and I mean, I did not have a good record for getting back to my candidates, just because at the time I felt inundated. Little did I know. They're swamped. Although if you've been shortlisted and one of, say, 3 people that's been interviewed for something or been in the final round, then yeah, they should be getting back to you. They should at least let you know or give you some information. So I always tell my clients, I mean, 2 or 3 business days, and then just do a check-in with them as like, okay, can a status report or just feedback on what were your thoughts about how I did in the interview, or was there anything I improved? And nothing wrong with that. And I mean, try a couple times every 3 business days. And I mean, if you don't have a response after that, I mean, consider it dead in the water and move on. You've done all you can and move on. But yes, that's frustrating too, especially if you've made it pretty far in the interview process and then basically have no information to go on just what happened or whatever else. Another point I'd add is you can do everything right in the job search and interview process, and there could still be all kinds of politics going on behind the scenes, just things that is far beyond your control, things you don't know about. Hope that answers your question. Thank you, Deborah. I think I'm able to see all the questions here. And it's interesting. Okay. All right. Oh, from Rakesh. Okay, there are lots of jobs out there, but it's difficult to get selected. Sometimes getting right kind of visa. Okay. Yeah. I can't speak to visa issues or what would be involved in that. That is just so far out of my wheelhouse. I do have a number of regulated immigration consultants in my network. So if I have somebody who DMs me about a visa or work permits for Canada, I always them to a few of those people because they can answer the questions so much better than I can. Takes too long. The visa takes too long. Yeah, I hear it's quite a long process. But other than bare basics, I really can't address visa questions at all. It's very, very lacking in knowledge in that area. But I mean, I do know some people. DM me, and I can certainly refer you to a few. Okay. Oh Lord. Okay. Just screen that call. Okay. And other questions? All right. Just making sure that wasn't an emergency. Call from someone I don't normally hear from. Okay. Any other questions? Link to me. Okay. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. So much for watching my we'll just put that on do not disturb. All right. I found Deborah. Okay, so a particular job board that you recommend, i.e. Glassdoor. Job board for any particular kinds of job postings or for information? I mean, always good for all kinds of things, for job postings, for information about interviewing, about salaries, about isn't any particular. It's still it's not who you know, it's who knows you. I still tell my clients, spend about 1% of your time going after job boards or advertised jobs. The rest of the time you're mining and building your network and opportunities and leads that way. Although, Deborah, I don't know where you're located in Toronto, innovation hubs, and I'm part of Center for Social Innovation, so there's a job board with that. There's all kinds of stuff on that job board, so I don't know what kind of work you're looking for. And there's also the Mars Discovery District, which I recommend a lot to people that I know are in Toronto, just because their community job board is just huge. And you may find something on there that you wouldn't normally see. Jacksonville, okay. Well, on that note, how are what's the co-working space situation in Jacksonville? Because where there's co-working spaces and innovation hubs, they will often have their own job boards. Sometimes just for contracts, but sometimes the smaller businesses, they need people depending what kind of work you're looking for, or that's a whole other network for you to mine. So that's, don't forget the small businesses. I mean, albeit startups can be risky, that will be a viable thing to mine for opportunities. Riza Perkins. Okay, is it better to apply directly to employer websites? Yeah, that's tricky. It's for employers, yeah, it would be, and some don't use their websites at all and just rely only on job boards or on, yeah, if you can find the posting on their website, yeah, go direct as often as you can. Go that route, kind of the middle person, but always is my take. Of course, depending where they're sending it. Okay. Thank you for your question. All right, any other questions? Okay. Oh, you're commenting on her title. Yeah, LinkedIn lets you put, they can be quite strict about what they allow you to put in the name category, but for degrees or designations, they allow you to put in. They'll come after you if you try to put the word guru or something in there, if it comes to their attention. But okay. But on employer, I've been finding that some jobs are no longer available on LinkedIn, but on employer site. Yeah, if it's still up there and you can still get your application in, by all means, yeah, there may have been, well, a deadline for the LinkedIn posting, but it's still open. Still open. Although I'm trying to remember if I've seen open postings or postings with no deadlines. Look at that again. Okay. Any other questions, or should we take another one from ChatGPT? I'm eventually going to add a name to this thing, but how do you fish out true job postings from scams? It's been kind of tricky, but generally check their physical address. Can you find what can you find when you try to Google the employer's name online, or even Google the person that tried to contact you? How much personal information are they asking from you up front? And generally, if they're asking you to show up to a cattle call, it can be kind of sketchy in terms of interview wise. Try to find the recruiter and message them directly. Yeah. And also the recruiter firm. What are they? Do they look like a one-person operation, or is it something reputable like Kelly Services or Attico that's been around for ages, for decades? Yeah, it's a lot of situations lately where it looks like a real job, but it's not. Yeah, that is the case. Are there many? Okay, Charles has a question. Are there many postings for a consultant? Consultant where? What kind of consultant? For what industry? Are you speaking to job boards or to bit more context to be helpful? Consultants is probably a number of LinkedIn groups for people working in the consulting industry. That generally would be a good place to start for marketing. Okay, so marketing consultant, many postings. Where are you asking because you haven't seen any on LinkedIn or on job boards in general? that's probably a case where there would be word of mouth. So start, depending what LinkedIn groups you're in, look for groups that have consultants in the membership and start asking your questions, what they know in terms of postings or who's looking for people. Okay, you're starting to say part-time for a consultant. Okay. But yeah, that's my advice. If you're not seeing postings, then that could very well be a case of hidden job market or finding the back door. Yeah. Okay. All right, we've got a few more minutes before I have to go prep, but. Thank you for the question, Charles. Okay. Okay, who else wants to ask a question? Oh, we got one on a specific job, but it's. Actually, one of the questions I got just from ChatGPT, do you have any tips for networking effectively to expand my job search opportunities? One of the things I find with in-person or even virtual networking is people, as entrepreneurs starting off and even job seekers, they will tend to try to regurgitate or give like the movie trailer version of their resume when someone asks what they do or what kind of work they're looking for, which nobody they're talking to is going to remember even 5 minutes after that conversation. So basically figure out a tagline, just what your specialty is. You're looking for work, you specialize in this, and ideally your next project will be A, B, or C. Keep it very, very brief, at most two tidbits for them to recall. So if they stumble on an opportunity, they remember they've had a conversation with you and go with that. Okay. Any good resource that doesn't cost a lot of money to optimize your resume? Well, there are some people recommending ChatGPT for that. Personally, I find when I use it for writing, it's good for getting past the blank page, or if I'm struggling with how to word something. Optimize your resume. There's a few on the. Google, I'm sure you'll find a few. And well, I hesitate to say this. If you go on to sites like Kijiji as well, I mean, there are just dozens upon dozens of people that are offering to rewrite your resume for $50. That's actually where I started when I started in this line of work. I wasn't charging very much at all. But I mean, that's always buyer beware. You might find someone who's really good and on their way up, or someone not so good. So, I mean, that's a cheap option in terms of what you get for that. Also, be careful of someone rewriting your resume without actually having a conversation with you or really finding out if there's anything missing from what's on your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Because when I meet with a client, there's oftentimes there are oftentimes details that they haven't included or haven't realized that they should be including. Things like what the things that aren't in your job description. What do people come to you? What type of problems do they ask you to solve? Or what workplace after workplace, what do you find people come to you for advice about? And just because you seem to be good at it, that's also needs to be reflected. So buyer beware with any resume service. Are they even pulling out hidden details that you don't realize you need to be including? Since I put the open to work banner up, people want to offer services, which is great, but not for $300. That's my new grad rate for resumes. But yeah, it's yeah, I mean, if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. But yeah, it's, and then now and then you'll see people on LinkedIn offering like free resume reviews, so you can certainly get some valuable information out of that as well, in terms of how to word something, or it's actually one thing I can tell you, or at least a pet peeve I have about resumes, is if you're doing the 2-column format, please stop. At first glance, they look nice, but content-wise, they are usually crap. Just so few people know how to really curate good content for those, or what content should be displayed on those. Just, it's my other grievance with that is when I was a recruiter, I absolutely hated seeing them, because the human eye goes from left to right, whereas the column format, it forces the eye to jump around, and it's not a smooth scan. The 10-second scan is real, and you always feel like you've missed some information, and it really creates a stumble. So that's my one thing I can say about that. Also, actually, I haven't looked recently. There might even be resources on Fiverr up there of various price points. But you're welcome. Thank you for your question. Anyone else? We've got a couple minutes left, and then I need to sign off and go prep for my client, or at least go on to my next call. But you're welcome, Charles. Thank you for popping in. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Or should we do one more from the list I have here? Where's the one I was going to talk to? Okay. We can close with this. Where did that go? Some effective strategies for staying motivated and positive throughout a prolonged job search. Well, you're not going to stay positive the whole time. It is a roller coaster. But I think one of the advice I can give is movement. Don't just stay outside on your laptop all the time. Do whatever you enjoy in terms of movement. Keep your gym membership for as long as you can. Jog if that's your thing. Dance. Continue doing yoga. Continue some kind of physical activity regime, because that'll make all the difference in terms of helping keep your head clear and helping you stay more positive, although you still, I mean, disappointments will be disappointments. But yeah, in a nutshell, my advice is if you're thinking of canceling your gym membership, keep it for as long as you can and actually go a few times a week, because it's also a nice break from the job search process. And hey, you can network in the gym. You never know. All right. Thank you, everybody who asked a question. I need to sign off now, and I need to start doing these again. So I'll be popping in again later this week. And otherwise, DM me on LinkedIn for further details, and talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.